Tzu Chi Eye Center in the Philippines restores the vision of a young girl so that she can return to school to finish her education. An employee of Keelung Jing Si Books and Cafes provides intimate service to deliver Jing Si products to the homes of customers. 歡迎收睇DaAi Headlines，我係 Ruby 我哋一齊睇下今日嘅內容。In the Philippines, 19-year-old Joanne was diagnosed with systemic lupus erythematosus 4 years ago. She also suffers kidney problem and needs to begin dialysis. Recently, her vision deteriorated due to cataracts. Thankfully, the Tzu Chi Eye Center provided a surgery for her, and now her vision is restored, so she can continue her study.
The pair of bright eyes belongs to 19-year-old Joanne May. She actually has cataracts in both eyes and was diagnosed with lupus 4 years ago. Last year, the lupus spread to her kidney and she needed to start dialysis. In the past year, her brother has been researching ways to help his sister.
I don't think I can continue working at home, but when I return to work in the office and I also fall sick, who will take care of my sister?
I really just want to return to school and finish it. I want to see my family and friends again.
To fulfill his sister's wish, Christian used the money he saved up for his own cleft palate surgery on Joanne May. He stayed with her at the Tzu Chi Eye Center during the examination, surgery, and recovery.
She's still young, and she has a future ahead of her. She suffers from lupus and she's on dialysis. If she loses her vision too, it's just too sad and heartbreaking. I'm so happy Tzu Chi can help her.
After her vision was restored, Joanne May returned for a few follow-ups. The doctor says she's doing well. This has helped ease the worries the siblings had for the past year.
Thank you very much to Dr. Fernandez for saving my eyesight. And thank you to Tzu Chi for helping patients like me who have eye problems.
Thanks to the help of Joanne May's family and Tzu Chi's surgery, she can return to her life as normal and begin dreaming big once more.
Regardless of boundaries, race, and religion, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malacca provided timely warmth and care for the families in need. Volunteers were worried that Nanik, a former Digi Care recipient, would be in a difficult situation, so they brought her supplies and masks, making her feel more at ease.
When Nanik's families of familiar figures come to visit with the supplies again, it makes the original fearful heart much calmer.
Volunteers have always cared about our family since the hard time we had in the past, when I didn't have an ID card and Malaysian nationality. Up to now, during the pandemic, the volunteers remember us. Thank them so much.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Malacca started to care for the family in 2012. After 2019, they stopped providing assistance due to their stable financial situation. However, the volunteers continue to care them.
Pasal ialah tiap-tiap bulan kan datang bantu saya lagi. Sedangkan adik-beradik pun tak ada.
Tzu Chi people come to help me every month. My brothers and sisters can't help. I often tell my sons that if you study hard, you might be able to be as successful as Tzu Chi volunteers when you grow up.
Mana tahu satu hari nanti dia boleh berjaya kan macam orang-orang lain lah tentu.
Her family is really poor and there's nothing, so Digi directly decided to give them assistance immediately. Unexpectedly, we went out for less than 10 minutes. After returning, her tears fell and said that you are really different.
The volunteers did not accept the lives of Nanik's family were affected by the pandemic and their income was reduced, so they delivered them living supplies.
I appreciate her gratitude. Thank you, Tzu Chi, and be grateful to Master. No matter what she said, she was very grateful because she really felt that Tzu Chi helped her when she was most struggling.
9 years of Tzu Chi's company gave Nanik and her family a shoulder to rely on during their most helpless and difficult times.
In Pindong, a doctor and nurse couple went on vacation. The doctor suddenly suffered myocardial infarction and fainted on the roadside. He was first sent to Yuli Tzu Chi Hospital. Because of his critical condition, the Tzu Chi cardio rescue team immediately activated the green channel so that he could be transferred to Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center directly to perform cardiac catheterization, and finally he was saved.
I saw my husband kicking his feet, which was not something he would do, so I looked at him by the side. I found that he seemed weird, just like suffering myocardial infarction.
Recalling the moment when her husband was ill, what made Mrs. Fan most grateful was the Tzu Chi's cardiac rescue team.
They are really fast. When we arrived at Yuli Tzu Chi Hospital, they suggested us to come here. They have already prepared an ambulance to send us directly to Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital.
I'm very worried because the patient once has his heartbeat stopped, it may happen again at any time. It's already an acute myocardial infarction.
Because of the critical situation, Dr. Chen Kun-chuan, who was on duty at the Yuli Tzu Chi Hospital at the time, immediately contacted Dr. Chen Yuji in Hualien to read the electrocardiogram online.
This ECG, which looks like a tombstone, is the standard STEMI. We call it acute myocardial infarction.
The cardio rescue team immediately activates the green channel, so the patient can be transferred directly to the cardiac catheterization laboratory immediately without entering the emergency room.
The whole team has been ready. Before the patient arrives at the hospital, the team, taking advantage of modern technology, starts to rescue online. Everyone cooperates and communicates with each other. It really shortens the time of saving lives.
After the treatment, Mr. Fan's condition was finally stabilized. The couple, who are also medical professions, can better appreciate the care of the medical team.
The contacts were well met, and everyone was well connected. This is the best medical team ever. Everyone is willing to give it without asking for any rewards. I can see it in other hospitals.
The cardio rescue team overcomes distance, shortening the medical treatment process and saving lives successfully. During the pandemic, Taidong Tzu Chi volunteers still care about the people of Nanyu. They not only prepared a box full of vegetables and fruits for residents, but also tablets and computers for children to learn online at home. Although volunteers cannot go to Nanyu in person, they still continue to safeguard the residents with the loving care.
During the pandemic, Tzu Chi footsteps came to offshore island of Nanyu to take care of the residents.
你预计要送哪些水果？凤梨，还有芒果和苹果。
The boxes full of fruits and vegetables were delivered to Nanyu the next day.
谢谢你，我收到了你。
Tzu Chi has also prepared tablets and computers so that children can be at ease with online learning once a week.
Due to the closure of the island, tourists cannot enter. Children also need online learning with laptops so that children can continue in their education.
In the future, I will work harder to accompany these people in need and hope that I can overcome difficulties and have the opportunity to visit Lanyu soon. I hope that local Tzu Chi volunteers can be recruited to serve for the ease of taking care of them.
Life in islands often suffers from shortage in material goods due to the weather. Volunteers strive to protect more families in need through multiple channels.
In Taiwan, during the pandemic, as many people are afraid of going out, orders of Jing Si products and books are made over the phone and delivered by logistic companies. However, in Keelung, the delivery is done by employees or volunteers after work.
The delivery services is launched, and the goods on the car have a dedicated position in consideration of the real contact drop-off.
都是在这一头，那刚刚好只开窗户不开门，
然后又可以达到防疫的效果。
对，穿那个戴黄色护照那个。很重哦，好，谢谢，好 ，OK， 好。
During the pandemic, I stayed at home for more than 2 months. If I needed anything from Jing Si Cafe, I called her or sent her a line message, and she would deliver herbal drinks or multigrain powder to me.
There is no commission on this service, and the gas is paid out of pocket. The delivery person is Xiao Heli, employee of Jing Si Books and Cafe in Keelung. You don't need to shop online, just make a phone call and get your items ready after receiving the order.
Each volunteer group organizes its own online study group, and they all need the book Skillful Means of the Lotus Sutra. A 5-volume set of Skillful Means is very heavy. Many Tzu Chi sisters who come to our Jing Si Books and Cafe will need to make 2 bus transfers to get here. So I help them by making deliveries.
In these days, the Lotus Sutra study groups organized by Tzu Chi communities have been transformed into online study, but they still need assistance of actual books. However, they were afraid of contacting with the crowds and did not dare to go to shop. So Xiao Heli helped to find a way.
从疫情一开始。
Such assistance has been provided from the beginning of the 3rd level of the pandemic alert. I will deliver as many orders as I receive in a day. I once delivered to more than 10 households after getting off work. If an item to be delivered doesn't fit into the route, I will tell them that I will deliver it for you tomorrow.
Not only books, but also related products from Jing Si Books and Cafe can also be delivered.
Most of them are multigrain powder, instant noodles, and rice. These are the normal orders.
成这样子的尺寸，钉起来。
Xiao Heli will promote the concept of environmental protection with skillful hands. She can weave baskets with waste packaging materials. She is the only employee of Jing Si Books and Cafe in Keelung. During the pandemic, its business hours have been shortened, but there are special services which keeps her busy. Luckily, there are volunteers available to help. Volunteers from Jing Si Book and Cafe assist in the delivery and challenge themselves to make a delivery in half a day from the time ordered.
During the severe pandemic, Sister Heli was busy and we were all seeing it. We just want to let her take a break. We have been vaccinated, so we came to help deliver it.
With the intimate services, the way people meet with the books has become more flexible. This kind of home delivery is really considerate.
In order for those in need to find Tzu Chi more easily, Tzu Chi's Kuala Lumpur and Selayang chapter promoted a food care community project to let more people know more about Tzu Chi through food distribution.
As the COVID-19 pandemic rages, Tzu Chi's Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter distribute food to people in need at recycling stations in the community.
I can't find a job, it's difficult. Before, I worked in a travel agency driving a minibus, but now there's no tourism, and I can't do anything, which is traveling.
Thank you. We are doing a makeup business, so makeup is the no more running past 2 years. So this support is really supporting us to survive.
Tzu Chi is always where it is most needed. This time, the distribution will take place at Tzu Chi activity sites. The hope that the families in need can find Tzu Chi volunteers.
今天呢，派日用品给那些需要的人。我们知道他那里哈，慢慢来，还可以。
Although volunteers give diligently, they still bear a grateful heart. The sweating volunteers travel back and forth carrying rice and supplies for the folks of all ethnic groups who are in need. Hoping to eliminate the pandemic through virtue, bamboo coin banks are also at the scene, gathering the love of everyone to help those in need.
Since the end of June, Tzu Chi volunteers have been delivering vegetarian meals to Far Eastern Memorial Hospital, hoping to let more healthcare workers understand the benefits of going vegetarian. As the pandemic slowed down, the campaign also came to an end. On the last day, volunteers specially prepared glutinous rice, which symbolized the partnership between Tzu Chi and Far Eastern Hospital on the road of medical treatment and pandemic prevention.
The variety of dishes changes every day. More than 60 lunch boxes were loaded onto a car and sent to Far Eastern Hospital. Tzu Chi volunteers stopped providing vegetarian lunch boxes to the hospital at the end of June. Different departments in the hospital all responded.
While we are protecting life, life will also protect us. This cycle of goodness needs you, me, and everyone to promote it together.
Far Eastern Hospital serves as the COVID-dedicated hospital during the Level 3 alert. This group of nurses choose to be vegetarian in this difficult time.
This pandemic has had a great impact on the whole world. We see that life is very fragile, so we must cherish and respect life more.
As medical staff, we are actually protecting everyone's lives, and the lives of animals also need to be guarded by us together.
My body and mind feel very settled, and my life seems to be restarted. In fact, this simple happiness satisfies me a lot.
在我们肾脏科来说，其实吃素少吃肉也是对的啦。好，我们自己应该讲。欢迎你加入我们的行列。OK。
As the local pandemic slowed down, the lunchbox support campaign came to the end. On the day of July 26th, Tzu Chi volunteers specially prepare snacks.
最后有一个圆满的 ending， 希望送这个抹茶麻薯，希望我们这个慈济的这些。
I hope that our Digi Foundation and our Far Eastern Hospital can work together on the road of medical pandemic prevention in the future. It should be very matched.
If the two important units of Far Eastern Hospital and Tzu Chi have not taken care of a lot of treatment, in fact, it's still hard to say whether today's pandemic can be smoothly controlled or quickly controlled.
都还很难说。筛检在这个地方。这段时间来讲，我们心情可以轻松。
During this period of time, we can feel relaxed, but our attitude must be strict.
那今天也是真的非常。
Today, I'm very grateful to Digi brothers and sisters for cheering us up.
打气加油哈！
Dr. Zhang Houtai, whose name Coffee Mers, agreed to be vegetarian as she received the Majomoji.
可以邀请你一起响应语数吗？可以，谢谢大家，这段时间。
Tzu Chi has built a good relationship with Far Eastern Hospital with a vegetarian meal. It's hoped that more people can join the vegetarian ranks.
Trees not only beautify city streets, but also release oxygen and purify the air. However, during typhoons and the period of heavy rain, they may topple and block the road, even endangering the safety of people and property. Follow our report as we learn more.
There's a huge wound under this tree next to the street. This is the road next to National Cheng Kung University in Tainan City. There are hundreds of camphor trees that have all such wounds showing it's decaying. Why does such a problem occur?
It is only 1 to 3 meters as the parking space is very small. So when the car reverses, it will hit the bark and damage it. This will cause the rotten, and if there is a northern wind blowing, the tree will be stressed here and it will break.
Street trees are green citizens of the city. They not only beautify the environment, but also absorb carbon dioxide and release refreshing oxygen. When the sun is shining, they also provide shade, but when there's a natural disaster, these trees can be a hindrance.
这入夜后呢，台中市变得风大雨大，而这棵人行道树呢，就这样拦腰被风给吹断了。所幸当时并没有任何的车辆经过。
这名19岁的林姓骑士在24号晚间行经台南安南区台江大道时，疑似路树倒下，遭树枝穿刺胸部，送医不治。
If a tree collapses, we have an insurance mechanism to understand why the tree collapsed, and then make moderate compensation.
Typhoon Suli passed and thousands of trees collapsed in Taipei City alone. Is it a natural disaster or a man-made disaster?
In the early days, trees were Madagascar almond and blackboard trees. When we need to trim some branches, there would be some structural worries.
The tree will fall over because of the urban design from the very beginning. The tree species is wrong, and the place where it is planted is not suitable for its growth. Even the method of planting is wrong during construction.
Don't think that roadside tree breaks only on typhoon days. Even if the sun is out, accidents may still happen.
早上7点40几分，轿车行进慢车道，突然前方路树倒塌，压到引擎盖，驾驶吓了一大跳。
吓死我了！
In fact, no matter whether it is wind or rain, there may be problems with street trees, but the two situations of broken trees and tree falling have completely different causes and effects.
The broken tree is the problem with the structure above the ground. The tree falling is the problem with the structure below the ground. There's a problem with the root of the tree, but we can only solve this problem by cutting the top of it.
This is the main road in Taichung City. From May to November every year, the county and city governments will target areas under their jurisdiction. Pruning of trees along the street is done to prevent accidents during a typhoon's heavy wind and rain.
The Taichung city government began to introduce relevant operating standards and regulations for tree pruning in 2013.
来，你上面那个枝条的尾巴把它打掉。
A tree pruning specialist will use a laser pointer and instruct the tree pruning worker about the appropriate pruning position.
The tree is supposed to be open like this and look very beautiful, but when they are sidewalk trees, we stipulate that it may cut under 4 meters in a place where people walk and where cars go, so you have to do a lot of pruning for the trees. If it is done incorrectly, it can cause a lot of festering.
The main trunk was repaired here improperly and then torn from the laceration here. At that time, it was probably torn to the point that the whole tree core was completely decayed, and there was a big hole here. This tree is in danger of falling down.
The original branch has a triangular cone structure and it grows from a young age. This branch starts to grow from the moment it is cut, so this is stuck to the tree bark. So one natural branch has structure, and one because of wrong pruning has no structural integrity. So this branch easily breaks in a typhoon.
Experts say that during typhoons, the biggest threat to trees falling on roads is not strong winds, but poor quality pruning. Only with professional pruning and loving care can humans live in harmony with trees which line our streets.
Ning Yunru from Yinan and Zheng Yijing from Tainan won the first bronze medal at the table tennis mixed doubles competition at the Tokyo Olympics. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and see you next time.